YouTube. Hello YouTube, sorry for the little delay. I shouldn't apologize. Maybe some of you did not even see the YouTube schedule. I'm early, okay? I'm early, I'm not late, I'm early. Hello everyone, hope everyone had a fantastic Valentine's Day and an even better Valentine's morning, okay? I hope some of you got lucky at a Saturday, lucky enough to spend the Saturday evening, a Sunday morning with your loved one. And if you spend it with yourself, that doesn't matter either. Like it's just, I hope you treated yourself, whether you treated yourself and another person or just yourself, it does not matter, or just your pets. Okay, if you have a cat, if you have a dog, if you treated them, that's also cool, okay? I hope everyone just had a nice and relaxing weekend. And I don't know what else to say. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, I guess. It's early. I'm sorry. It is early. I really thought about just delaying everything, but I want to make this like a principle that we stay on schedule no matter what. And I got a little bit late today, but it's very important, even if it's not the optimal times to stream, and I'm probably gonna have a monologue for 2 hours. It does not matter. We need to stay on schedule. We need to basically create habits. It should have been a habit all along, right? Like 5 years into this, and a schedule should be the least of our concerns, but it is unfortunately one of our concerns. So no matter what times I put into the schedule, what days, I need to stay on time and I need to stay on schedule, unless like there's emergencies, right? There's obviously exceptions to the rules, but we need to be doing what is set in the schedule and we need to be on time. So I'll try to do that for next week. I think we're gonna continue what I started this week, right? We're gonna continue Kingdom Hearts, even though every fiber in my brain is telling me, or every proton neuron in my brain is telling me not to continue, because it's just not, you know, it's not a growth factor. It's nothing, pretty much. It's basically just for my mental health. And my brain is telling me, hey, stop doing it, just continue it. Doing something else, maybe a more trending game, but I'm gonna do it because otherwise what's the point? I really don't see the point if I just keep doing things that might be optimal for growth but not optimal for my brain. And we're gonna continue. We're gonna have probably, at the very least, I want to aim for 4 streams again next week, but yeah, we'll see. Today I left the gaming portion a little bit open, right? Today is supposed to be a hybrid stream, meaning we're going to chat a little bit and we're going to talk about certain things. And then if there's time, energy, willingness left, then we can start playing a little bit of Monster Hunter. I wanted to revisit Monster Hunter today. I did play a little bit on Friday. However, the issue with Monster Hunter Wilds is that it has so many systems, right? Even more so than in Monster Hunter World. They added a bunch of things. They added lots of quality of life things, but also new features. And we spent 40 hours with the game last year when it was released. Basically, we played it on release and we pushed through. But I only finished the main story, right? And I completely stopped afterwards. Like, I did not even do any post-story stuff or high-ranked hunts, nothing. I literally just stopped. When the main mission was done, I stopped and we continued playing a different game. So on Friday, when I revisited the game just to see if all the overlays are still working, right? Everything is still in place. I tried to do a mini hunt and I failed miserably because I forgot everything. I forgot the controls. I forgot how things work. I forgot where I left off, and yeah, this is why I'm leaving things open today, depending on how much energy we have left. We can jump into Monster Hunter Wilds, but it might not be the best experience in the world because I do have to relearn all the controls and relearn the story, how to craft things, how to properly you know, attack monsters kill monsters, use my weapon properly. I have 2 weapons, I don't know how to use them. So yeah, that is one of the things that I wanted to say before we continue with today's schedule. I brought 2 main topics, but as always, there are many topics we can talk about. Obviously, it's the weekend of love. Valentine's Day happened yesterday, and there's a couple of things that I would love to talk about, but I'm not exactly sure if I should, because I usually want to stay out of other people's business, right? I'm a firm believer in keeping things private in your life, even if you're like major streamer, small streamer, mid-sized streamer, doesn't matter. So I want to do this for myself, and when I say I want to do this for myself, I think it's hypocritical to then dive into other people's business, right? But there's like an overarching thing that happened on Twitter, and it's my point that I want to make is a general point, but in order to get to that general point, we would have to scoop into other people's business, and this is why I'm a little bit conflicted whether I should be talking about it or not. Sorry for vague posting like that, but it is what it is. And the other thing is AI made more advancements. It's now become a very frequent thing, unfortunately, that every time we have a Just Chatting stream, there's going to be a section where we talk about AI advancing further. And I think we're reaching end times when it comes to AI, because, you know, it usually makes very big leaps, AI, but then there's another leap that happens that is just, you know, it's just where I feel like this is genuinely going to be dangerous for human craftsmanship, especially the generative AI stuff. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and this one is a short. This one is short news, and we can basically start off with that. It's kind of like our icebreaker a little bit, but if you want to get a copy of GTA for free, and you live in Norway, I have to mention this is not a worldwide phenomenon, but it is a Norwegian basically PR campaign. I guess I don't know if it's from the government or not. It's an electronics store. Let me just show you. So a Norwegian electronics store has a campaign that if you and your wife or your girlfriend or your husband, your, you know, depending on who you are, if you have a baby that comes out on the day of GTA 6's release, you will get a copy of GTA 6 for free. So your time frame, your time window was basically yesterday. If the baby comes in like an exact 9 months, right? Your time to bombard your girlfriend or your wife was yesterday. If you do it today, there might still be a chance if your kid comes early, right? There might even still be a chance next week, but after next week, it's probably unlikely that your kid will arrive at on November 14th. I think it's a pretty funny way to try and increase the birth rate in Norway. Not a lot of people live in Norway, right? And Norway is a huge place. So yeah, if you're an avid gamer and you want to get a little bit of a bonus from getting a kid, then you know what to do this weekend and also next week. Oh, what the hell happened?
One morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got into my pajamas, I'll never know.
One morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I'll never know. I don't get that one either. Hello, Double Chocolate Chip, welcome. Your jokes are getting too smart for me. Is the joke that your PP is the elephant? I shot an elephant in my pajamas. I don't get that one. Well, welcome to the stream. We still have that glitch that changes the tabs when people are activating TTS. I have no idea why that happens. It shouldn't be happening, but it is happening. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Welcome to the stream. Must be early for you, right? Must be around 10 a.m. But welcome, 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 welcome. I was just talking about this Norwegian campaign. They started, like an electronics store started this Norwegian campaign where you can get a copy of GTA 6 for free if you have a kid that comes out the same day that GTA comes out, which is November 14th. Imagine if they imagine if they delay GTA 6 one more time and people were having, you know, people were raw dogging it this week and next week just to get a copy for free, and then it's just Rockstar comes out and is like, sorry people, we have to delay it again. No, but I think it's a funny incentive, especially for people that want to have, or are currently trying to get kids anyways. Getting a free copy of GTA 6, why not? We should have more incentives like that. Like, companies should do more incentives like that too. This is the way to increase birth rates. I always said it's an incentive issue, like a financial issue, and not so much a people don't want to have kids issue. But people don't listen to me. Like, if you cannot afford to live with 2 income households, right, and you're still struggling, then why should people add a third mouth that they can feed, right? It's stupid. It always has been a financial issue, an incentive issue. If the governments would pump money into families, then we would have more families. It's as easy as that. But okay, this is getting a little bit too serious. I just wanted to show this stupid campaign. GTA 6 dropping in 9 months. Wink, wink. It's a cool campaign. It is a cool campaign. But what happens? It would be so... I mean, at the end of the day, it's a child being born, right? People don't do it for GTA, but imagine if your kid comes a day before or day after. It's like, fuck. That will be forever be a stain in the man's heart. It's like, if you would have come, you would have come out of your mom's womb just a day early. I could have saved $70. Dumbass kid. Okay, so that is the GTA story. It's a short one. It was our icebreaker. Imagine explaining to your kid they exist because of GTA 6. Moves to Norway, finds wife, times baby for GTA 6 release. GTA release gets postponed again. This was my point. That would be devastating. Okay, that was that. Now we need to go into... Oh, wait. I completely forgot to do something. I messed around with... remember stream avatars? The stream avatars, I messed around with it for probably an hour today. Because we're now on 2 platforms. We're multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. And I usually only use this for one platform. I either only used it on Twitch or I used it on YouTube only. But you can use it on both platforms at the same time. But it created a bunch of problems for me. And I'll just see if the problems were lifted. So I'm gonna start stream avatars. Okay, technically it is connected now. Do I still have stream avatars? I don't. I don't have a window for that. Right. Stream avatars. Go. Oh. All right. We have them running around again. Let me just place them here like this. Okay. Okay, stream avatars is back, baby. So that is working. I don't know why it's not showing any names. Is it because... I don't know, might be because of the Twitch settings. I haven't tweaked the Twitch setting yet. The last time we used the stream avatars was on YouTube, when we're still exclusively streaming on YouTube. So this might be the reason why they don't show any names. Or maybe it's because it's me. It's me and I'm the channel owner and it doesn't show my name. I'm not exactly sure, but stream avatars is back. At least for our Sunday streams where we are here in our talk show studio. For our reaction streams, we could use the talk show studio for our reaction streams as well, but then the video will be kind of like minimized or like too small. And I don't like that, so this is why I don't use the talk show scene for our GTA. What am I saying? For our YouTube reaction streams. Plus, one more thing I wanted to say, maybe for people who might be watching this later, or wait, they cannot really watch this later because it will be. The thing is, I don't save VODs on Twitch. If you want to see the VODs, you have to move over to YouTube. And I don't think our new members are aware of that, and I'm not exactly sure how I'll be able to tell them, because by the time I end the stream, the VODs will be like, it will be unpublished. So maybe I'll just publish today's stream, and so people know that in the future, when there is no VOD on my channel, it's because we multi-stream on YouTube, and it will be stored forever on YouTube, and I don't see the need to have it on both platforms, right? So if you want to see the VOD, hop on over to YouTube. I'll try my best. I couldn't do it this week, but in the future, hopefully I'll get to create chapters, if not super detailed chapters, but at least some chapters, so you can just jump to the topics that interest you. And this is also one of the, I would say, advantages of having VODs on YouTube instead of having VODs on Twitch. Because I can just add certain chapters which allow you to skip certain topics, right? Especially when I'm starting to babble and ramble like this. Okay, so that was GTA. I would say we jump into the first, I guess, big story of the day, which is AI. I'm a dinosaur. There's no way to find Birthrate. Western women aren't worth it. That is your opinion. Western women aren't worth it. I disagree. Don't make this weird, man. And welcome to my stream. I'm a dinosaur, but please don't make me ban you. I don't like this women hating talk. Generalizing, I don't know how many million women is never a good idea. I do not condone that shit. I just hope that was a bad taste joke. Western women aren't worth it. Maybe Western men aren't worth it. Have you thought about that? Why is the woman to blame? Oh man. I know I should have picked a different title. This was supposed to be something just, you know, wholehearted, like a little joke. You knock your wife up this week or next week, you might get GTA 6 for free. That was the whole point of this section. I don't want to get into demographics and the politics behind it. Has nothing to do with the women, by the way, if you want to get more into it. It has everything to do with cost of living being way too expensive for everything. If you have first of all, not everyone wants kids. That's another thing, right? And number two, if you have a two household like a household with 2 jobs, right? 2 paying jobs, and you still barely come around, then adding a kid to that, especially if your government is not supporting, giving you any child support and whatnot, right? And schools, you have to pay for schools, kindergarten, especially, etc., clothing, right? Unless you want your kids to grow up in extreme poverty, right? That is a very responsible decision to make. And to just say, oh, it's because women in the West are at fault. That is why. It's not even worth having kids with them. Because we don't ask 6 figures, 6 feet. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh man. I'm sorry, I'm Dinosaur, but you are a freaking incel. Oh man. Wow. Yeah, every woman in the West, every single woman in the West is asking for 6 figures and 6 feet and a 10-inch cucumber. Brother. Oh my god. They watch. This is so stupid. I'm just assuming that I'm Dinosaur was just a kid or like a teenager. Because they probably watched one of those like rage baiting videos where they're like, oh, what is your preferences in men? And then they're like, oh, he needs to at least earn $2 gazillion per month. Otherwise, and he needs to be 7 feet tall. Otherwise, he should not even get near me. And then these teenagers watch this type of content and like, fuck women. Like, this is ridiculous. It's, come on, man. If you think how many women are in the world, or in the West, because you somehow assume that women in the East are just so much different, right? If we want to generalize women, what you're doing, like women are not as different as you think they are in the West and in the East. This notion that are the women in the East, and when they say the East, they are usually talking about like the Asian countries, like Japan and whatnot. You know that there are gold diggers in Japan as well, right? There are women that exploit men in Japan as well, right? This is not a cultural thing. This is not a West versus East thing. This is literally just a if we want to blame it all on women, which we shouldn't, right? But if we want to do that and go the incel route, the same shit happens in the East. I can guarantee you the type of women that you hate in the West is also present in the East and in the South and in the North. I hate this type of like generalization of everything from people who have no idea about life and dated maybe one person before, and that is it. They had one bad experience, and I'm sorry for you to have that bad experience, okay? But to then say all women are whores in the West is just... Do you hear yourself? It is so stupid. You need to make sure to open your mind a little bit and to understand that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 bad experiences is not a pattern. They're always like, oh, we're not hating women, we're just doing pattern recognition. Well, have you talked to all the 60 bazillion women in the West? Like, do you know all women in the West? If all women were whores in the West, you were not even, you wouldn't be even born. And then they usually reply with, well, all women except for my mom or for the women in my family. Or they say, well, I'm not from the West. Dude. I made a big mistake in... a really, really big mistake in adding this to the title. This was just supposed to be... This was the joke, okay? Planning on having a kid? Do it now so you can get GTA for free. That was the entire point. The entire point of this section. And then people come in. This is, by the way, also why people call you incels. It has become such a broad term now that it's literally women haters. It's because you generalize. You literally just said all women in the West. I'm just gonna Google real quick because you just said all women in the West, right? I'm just gonna Google how many women statistically, right? Women above the age of, let me just say 21, usually like in Germany, the age of consent, or like you are an adult when you are 18, but in a lot of countries it's like 21, right? So I'm just going to do 21. live in the West? So how many women above the age of 21 live in the West? I want an estimate. Based on 2024 to 2025 demographic data, there are roughly 200 to 250 million over the age of 21 living in Western countries, primarily defined as the US, Canada, Western Central Europe, and developed Oceania. So, this little gentleman over here, this incel, I'm a dinosaur, who I just banned, came here and literally told me 200 to 250 million. Let's go with the lowest ballpark estimate. 200 million women are whores, and they all want 6 feet man with 10 plus inches cucumbers, and what was the other one? 6 feet tall, at the very least. Dude, you need to calm down a little bit, and need to understand that everything you are consuming is designed to make you feel a certain way, right? That is why there are all of these podcasts. You know, there's a podcast where I always see clips of on Twitter, right? It's like a podcast that always invites these OnlyFans girls, right? They specifically invite OnlyFans girls. They don't invite any women doctors or lawyers. Not that I have anything against sex work, by the way. Like, if you want to do OnlyFans, do OnlyFans. I don't give a shit. But they don't invite them on purpose, right? Because they want to make sure that their audience always gets this image of the women always being behind money and always chasing money, always chasing the next man, right? You'll never be able to put a ring on anyone's finger because she's already thinking about the next best person who is 2 inches taller or bigger. And it's their entire content. It's always invite OnlyFans girl, and then they ask them like questions like, don't you ever want to have kids? And she's like, no, I just want to, have sex until I'm 30. And everyone's like, gosh, oh no. And the audience like, oh, all women are whores. This is literally, you are one of that like, you're part of that ecosystem. And you need to understand that most of these men don't even think the way you do, even though you're part of their manosphere ecosystem. They're milking you. They're milking the rage in teenagers. They're milking the ones who had the first heartbreak or like the second or whatever, right? They're milking you. They're milking your heartbreak. They realize that you are angry, right? And they're showing you a version of a woman that is, number one, less than 1% maybe of all women, right? But they try to make you believe that this is all women. And they try to keep you an incel as long as possible. So keep consuming that content and you'll never get a girlfriend. Or wife, that is. Right? This is not saying there are not mean women out there and exploitative women, but there are also much like exploitative men like us, right? Like we men, let's not pretend that we cannot also exploit women, right? Pimps exist, by the way. Pimps are not usually women, right? Like let's be real here. If you want to start this gender war, which is so stupid to me, it's a gender war. In lots of countries, they are starting gender wars. It's like, do you hear yourself? Please. This is why I sometimes really feel like I'm way too old for the entire internet culture. Like, I see a person coming in like that, I give them a little bit of like the benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe it was like a mean-spirited joke. And then the second and third and fourth sentence dropped, and I immediately realized, oh, it's that type of person. It's a bit sad, maybe, but it is the season of breakups, right? It is like usually after Christmas, before Valentine's Day, lots of people break up. So maybe this person just went through a breakup and he is full of hatred, right? I'm not justifying the way that they express themselves in here, but I'm just saying the whole point of why this type of content is working is because people have made bad experiences, or they feel lonely, or they feel like the person that we're interested in, we're just playing with their feelings and whatnot. there is some valid core issue, I would say, with some growing like adolescent men or like teenagers that like we went all through that phase. Like I'm not never gonna date anymore, right? Like all women are whores. Like the way that she treated me, like I would never, like I was such a nice guy to her. Like why did she treat me like that? This usually fades the more experience you have and the more hopefully good women you meet, right? But if you have one experience and that experience is bad, and then you bury yourself in this online ecosystem of hatred, right? All women are bad. This is exactly why she made you feel this way, and she did that to you. It kind of affirms what you are currently feeling, and it turns it into something that it should never be, like a stigma, right? Even if you have 2 bad experiences or 3 bad experiences, even if your entire dating life so far was a bad experience, even if it was 10 a bad experience, doesn't mean that your 11th one has to be bad. So never close your heart and be so like hateful towards women, like Western women. I don't know where that sentiment comes from. Once again, if you truly think, obviously there's cultural differences, right, on how women behave and whatnot, but if you truly think that there is no like wrongdoing happening in the Eastern world, right, in the Eastern world, like with Asian or I don't even know, like Russian women. I'm not exactly sure what exactly this person thinks of when he says like Western women and Eastern women, right? If you truly think that heartbreak and gold diggers and whatnot is exclusive to the West, then you are really in for a very, very rude awakening. You just watch older movies, right? Or read old books from the East. There are certain experiences that are universal to all of humanity. Breakups are one of those. Heartaches are one of those. Being cheated on are one of those, right? And that goes both ways, not just one-sided gender, right? Men cheat, women cheat. If you truly think that only happens in the West, then just live a little bit. Go ahead, like move to the East. Try and find your wife in the East. Maybe it works out for you. But I just wonder if people like that will change their mind if they move to the East and, you know, they get cheated on in South Korea, on China or whatever. Like, would you then also say all women in the East are whores? So dumb. Also, by the way, if that would be true, what you're saying, that I would have never had a relationship in my life, because I am not 6 feet tall. Six feet tall. I am 5'9", I think. I don't know the American system, the measuring system, but I think I'm like 5'8", 1/3, or 5'9". So I'm pretty average, I would say. In Germany, that is like the average size. If that would really be the case, what you are describing, or what people have told you, because it's definitely not based on your own experience, then, you know, none of my friends would have relationships. Although I do have 2 friends that are above 6 feet. Maybe you are right. I would have never had a relationship. Good friend of mine who is like 2 heads smaller than me, got married like in December, 2 months ago. He would have never had his wife now if what you are saying is true. Because we do live in the West. I live in Germany. I hope you count that as the West. I'm not exactly sure. The birth rate is going down everywhere, but I can guarantee you that is directly correlated to cost of living, uncertain future, because there's always like tumult currently happening in and around Europe, right? So that is one thing. Kids being extremely expensive is another thing, right? And if everything is too expensive, and if you barely have enough left at the end of the month to breathe, right? Not even going on vacation and shit like that, not even spending anything on luxuries, but literally just surviving. How do you expect people to have 1 or 2 kids? And they always like reply with, our parents did it as well. Our parents grew up in a way different time where one person earning was enough to feed an entire family. Those times are over unless you are like big CEO or like management, in management, right? Or do you have like bitcoins, or you have stocks, or you're a doctor and whatnot, right? That's different. But one person earning enough to feed an entire family plus pay for a car and mortgage, right? Those times are over. Those times are way over. And if you feel like your life is basically revolving around just work and just working to barely survive, then you cannot expect people to procreate. After all, the other day I read a sentence, and it makes so much sense that the birth rates in like around the world are going down. Someone said, if you want to breed animals in captivity, right, you need to make sure that they are happy and reduce stress. Like, you basically have to make sure that the animals in captivity don't feel like they're in captivity, because then they will not breed. Now make that connection of the current human life, and you'll understand why the birth rate is going down. Plus, the birth rate going down also correlates naturally with a higher educational grade. That has always been the case. Like, the higher an entire society is educated, like meaning like if education is free, right, and you don't have to sell your kidneys to sell your send your kids to school, right, then naturally the birth rate goes down, because your kids don't become your retirement anymore. There are certain countries where there's no retirement plans, right, and they barely earn enough to literally live day by day. So these types of countries usually have 5 or 6 kids per, per family. It's because the kids, it's literally the retirement plan of the parents. So the more, I guess, like an advanced a government is, or like a society is, where you have retirement plans and maybe even healthcare. In Germany, we do have healthcare, and you don't, like, we have free education as well, or like subsidized education as well, right? Then naturally you don't need 8 kids anymore. So even if the birth rate wasn't sinking, right, and in a lot of countries that are now advancing, the birth rate would naturally go down anyways, just because, look at the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, it's the same, right? Because the mortality is so high that you need to have like 200 offspring in order to make sure that your genes survive the wild jungle, right? So having like 5 cubs or 6 cubs, that is normal. And it used to be normal for humans as well, but as I said, the more advanced a society, the more, I would say, social, not advanced, but more social a society, the more we take care of families, the more we take care of salaries, cost of living, etc. The more likely it is that we'll have like 1 or 2 kids. That's it. There's still families who have 8 kids. Regardless of all the social stuff happening. Damn it, I did not want this to become this serious, but I think sometimes you need to make sure, maybe, I hope I do get to educate 1 or 2 of you in the future. This video will be up forever, right? And I just hope that you'll never fall into this rabbit hole of no matter what it is, like, Doesn't matter if it's every woman or every man or every whatever, right? Like, don't stigmatize, don't generalize. That always leads to more hatred. And it does not, you know, I always mention this with the Epstein files, right? If you would just look at who is involved in the Epstein files, you could also make a generalization, right? But it would be bad. It would be stupid. You cannot say just because there was a ring of PDF files, right? And they all kind of fall into the same category, pretty much. You can then not say that the nationalities of these people, like, all of them are bad, right? Because if we would think that way, then we could, for example, say, well, all Americans are pedophiles or PDF files. If you want to live your life like that, go ahead and live your life like that, but I think it's wrong. Just the action of one person or even groups of people don't determine the entirety of said group. Just like with the VTubers, lots of bad VTubers out there or bad streamers out there, doesn't mean all of them are bad. It's as easy as that. I don't know when it started, because I learned when I was growing up that generalizations are bad, stereotypes are bad, right? But I think it in the past couple of years, maybe a decade or so, they started to become, like, it was normalized to just say, see, there was that one anecdotal experience that I had, and therefore all of those people that I that belong to that group that I had a bad experience with are now bad, and everyone is applauding on the internet, especially on Twitter. Absolutely stupid. Just be a little bit more open-minded, educate yourself a little bit, look at statistics. Although that doesn't really help either, because people like that, they don't really believe statistics either, official peer-reviewed statistics, because then they will go, oh, they're just lying to us, and then it's a never-ending battle basically with these kinds of people. And with these kinds of people, I'm not generalizing, right? I'm not saying all, right? Not all dinosaur lovers like that person are incels. This is something I could do now based on this experience that I had, where this person, I'm a dinosaur, comes into my chat, and he even has like a dinosaur profile picture, right? So I guess he's a fan of dinosaurs. Because he's such a, like, he was such a piece of shit in my chat, I would not go out of my way and now say all dinosaur fans are incels. So stupid. Just be a little bit, especially on Valentine's weekend, right? Just open your heart a little bit and stop generalizing, and also stop consuming this slop. Holy shit. Was my mistake, I guess. It was my mistake. My mistake of opening it up like that. But let us continue with one more thing. It's the age of artificial intelligence. And generative AI is getting better and better and better and better. I still remember 3 years ago, the first time we talked about AI, we saw this dumbass Will Smith video where he was eating spaghetti and it looked ridiculous. And ever since that day, ever since we had that stream where I talked about it, I told you, and I have like lots of receipts, that this is just the beginning, and it will get better, and it will get better, and it will get better. And we're now at a point where it's just scary, man. It is really scary. It is so, like, it's getting indistinguishable from IRL stuff, right? AI is everywhere. The data centers are now being built. Like, the industry's shifting, the tech industry's shifting to AI. They want to include AI in literally everything. And there's AI in cameras, there's AI in cars, there's AI in our PCs now, in our GPUs, there's AI upscaling, and there's just AI everywhere, right? And the other day, it was exactly 7 days ago, last Sunday, I saw this clip, which looked freaking cool. I cannot even deny it at this point. Like, artificial like generative AI is absolutely horrible for artists and you know, creative people in general. But it was still, I would say, even though it got better and better and better, it was still just like, it was still kind of sloppy, right? You could still tell, especially with those like Puck is saving a baby type of videos, or Spider-Man is saving a dog or shit like that. You know, there was so much AI slop, and you could still tell, even though the models got better and better in replicating what a human looks like or what a cat looks like, you could still tell based on the behavior and whatnot that it is AI slop, right? Plus, it was also short, so it was just very easy to spot. It was getting harder and harder, don't get me wrong, but you could still, with a trained eye, you could still spot the AI videos easily, right? And then I came across this video, and I thought at first it was like a fan-made Dragon Ball, like live action stuff, right? Until I realized that this is AI. This was made with the AI. And it was made in the old, like, 70s style Kung Fu movies. And this shit looks great. I cannot even deny it anymore. This shit looks really, really, really good. Look at Tien. The forearm, you know how difficult this would be, like doing with special effects. And the backgrounds look exactly like in Dragon Ball. And this is usually something that like these background specialists have to do, right? The set specialists. But now you can just do it with a prompt. I'm still don't condone it. I'm just saying that this is getting way too good for my taste. There are still some continuity issues. Like if you don't know how to properly shoot a movie, then AI will not help you with that. For example, he throws him out and he leaves the frame on the right side of the screen. Right? This is what we call in cinema, we call this a continuity error. So he flies out the screen on the right side, right? He flew out on this side. So in the next scene, he comes in from the right side, but that is wrong. That is like a movement issue, like it's a continuity issue. He should have come from this side. Because if he leaves the screen on the right side, it's just logical for our human brains that he comes into the scene from the left side. But he comes from the right side, and it's just confusing. Obviously, you will not notice this if you did not study any like movie compositions, right? It might look odd to you, like your brain will tell you, hey, something's off here, but you will not be able to explain what exactly is wrong, right? But now I'm telling you, it's a continuity issue. Yeah, he's supposed to, like, he left the screen on this side, he's supposed to come from that side. But he's not. Point is, it looks very, very good, right? It really has the aesthetic of the old Kung Fu movies, and I should know. I grew up with those movies. Not so much with the 70s ones, but with the late 80s ones from Jackie Chan and whatnot. Bruce Lee was before my time, but this looks absolutely amazing. And that was just a prompt. No real actors, no real backgrounds, no nothing. Just a prompt. This is why I said it's getting very, 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 very scary how good this shit is, right? And then we also have stuff like this. LeBron getting schooled by a dog. It looks so good. Absolutely ridiculous. The quality is just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Okay, then we also have the obvious AI slop, I would say. Lots of cat videos being done with this, but it's just so ridiculous. Okay, cat slop. But then there was also anime, which we talked about on this channel before. The dangers of AI being basically introduced in the anime scene or anime industry, because anime industry is already fighting with lots of crunch time and with lots of, you know, low payment, crunch time, and AI is just, I don't think it's going to be it's gonna make things easier for animators. I think it's gonna lead to lots of replacements, because if you can get a project done that doesn't maybe look as good, right? If you can do the in-between frames with an AI and just let a human draw the keyframes and whatnot, I think we all know that companies will have no issue replacing everyone, right? So this is getting scary. Not even speaking about the copyright issues, which is definitely a different kind of beast, right? But this looks, I have to say, this looks good. It's just, I don't know, man. It looks good. It is stolen art. Don't get me wrong. It is generative AI. It is copyrighted, right? Like it's a copyright infringement. But I'm just saying, if for a layman, for someone who maybe doesn't know Goku, doesn't know who's this Doraemon, I don't know. Like, I would have a very, very tough time to even spot any issues. Maybe they're like the way that Goku moves. Maybe, I don't know. Like, if you look at this frame by frame, and you're an animator and you're an illustrator, you probably see lots of issues. But for someone who's just basically consuming anime and reading manga, I'm not an illustrator, I cannot animate for shit, right? If I'm just looking at this, it looks legit to me. Like, I don't see any continuity issues at all. Yeah, this looks just, it looks like good movement as well, right? I don't know, man. This is getting very, very, very scary in my opinion, because we're now getting to industry replacement levels of good when it comes to these AI prompts, generative AI. Oh, this new AI can also replace people in a movie, like in this one. I don't know which movie it is. Definitely looks old, like an 80s action movie from China, I guess. And they replaced one of the characters with a cat. And it looks good. It looks really good. Okay, now there's a dance section as well, but we cannot listen to it because it has Michael Jackson playing in the background. So I'm just gonna mute it. But holy cow, it looks really, really good. Now, people definitely can argue what's the value of this, right? If it's not being created by a human, right? Like, if it wasn't really directed with real people and real humans and whatnot, it's basically just a replacement of a human, of a movie that already exists and whatnot. I totally get that. I'm not arguing the value of this. I just want to show you the quality, literally. I still think that generative AI is shit, right? I'm just showcasing the quality, and this shit looks really, really, really good. You cannot even deny it anymore. Like, not that people denied it before, but it is, like, we came from goofy ass Will Smith eating spaghetti, which looked like a like nightmare you have. It looked so goofy, to now this high quality movie scenes where you can just replace whoever you want. Or if you're a fan of kaiju, right? If you're a fan of like Godzilla and whatnot, look at this. This is ridiculous. It looks so funny. And in the past, there were movies like that before. I'm not talking about the original, like the kaiju movies, right? But I'm talking about like the PR industry sometimes made fun of Godzilla by making their like own commercial based on Godzilla and whatnot. So this could have literally been a commercial from the 90s or 80s. Problem is that those types of commercials used to take weeks to even months sometimes to commission and also to complete, and was incredibly expensive for companies. Now you can do it with a prompt, and this is also what I fear. Like, we're getting to industry replacement quality. If you would have added a prompt maybe after this, with a cat eating a bowl of food, and then maybe adding a text of something like "Don't leave your cat hungry" or shit like that, right? You would have $1 million ad already. It's crazy. It is crazy. Also, the quality. Look at the quality of this. I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm literally speechless. That shit it's crazy. Alright, then we have Tokyo Drift Cat, but there's still, as I said, it's not perfect yet, right? You can still see some issues like the cat having human hands and human feet or shoes. But they turn into paws later on, like when they switch the perspective, then he has paws again, but and his, you know, his little paw feet. But in this scene he has like human hands, so there's still, it's not perfect obviously, and also you can see in the numbers are just gibberish over here. Perspective, I guess it's okay. Not perfect by any means, but it is getting there. Lots of these Godzillas. I liked a lot of these Godzilla style cat videos because it's just I just had to like that one. Okay. Or the cat fighting the rock. Have you seen that? Okay. So this is what I wanted to show you. It's getting very, very, very scary. And even one of the Hollywood director, I think, who was it? Hollywood has officially started panicking after Deadpool and Wolverine writer Red Reese reacted to a viral AI video of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fighting over Jeffrey Epstein. Reese said, "I hate to say it, it's likely over for us." This is what I meant when I said it is indistinguishable. This is not goofy looking anymore. This is not just resembling Tom Cruise. It literally, it looks like Tom Cruise. This is not resembling Brad Pitt. It literally looks like Brad Pitt. And the fights, while they are always, I feel like when they do a fighting prompt, they always look the same. There's like AI doesn't know how to do fighting variety yet, I guess. But that is also, as I said, just a matter of time until that happens. That shit looks legit. If I would show this my father, right, he would not know which movie this from. Like he would ask, like, what movie is this? A new movie? Like he would not dare to question. He would not even come to the idea of questioning whether this scene is real or not, like from a real movie. This is how good AI has become. Like I can guarantee you, if I would show this clip, if I would send this clip to my father, he would literally follow up. I can guarantee you, like 100% guarantee, he would follow up with, which movie is this? Yeah, it's. I don't want to. Oh, there's also this, but I cannot show it to you, or maybe I can. Now I think the melody might be copyright strike, but it is Kanye seeing his ex-wife Kim with a lot of different men, and then getting angry, and then trying to throw away his Grammy award, and then his friends say no, and then he starts to sing in the rain because he's so heartbroken, and he starts to sing in Chinese. What is happening? People, we need to go back. Like, we need to turn off the switch of like AI and humanity, and like we really need to go back to analog days. This is crazy. And once again, this is just the start. This is just the beginning. We haven't seen anything yet. And you know what? And I always say this when we're covering these AI topics. What keeps me up at night is that commercial technology is usually 5 or so years behind military technology. Usually when something hot and new comes on the market, the military has been using it in secret for their military stuff for years, right? This has been the case with the internet. It has been the case with pretty much everything nice and cool that we have, right? And I can guarantee, I don't know for sure, right? But it would be stupid if not. I'm pretty sure that military tech was already using AI to some degree. Maybe not generative AI, but definitely AI that, like, can maybe determine battle plans, or I don't know, recognize faces and shit like that. Although facial recognition is probably like the least impressive task, right, for military software. I'm just saying that they've already probably been using forms of ChatGPT and forms of Gemini and all of these types of technology way before we did. Like the consumers, the normal people. So I'm currently wondering if AI is already at this level, right? What the hell is the military, like the secret military, like our governments, what the hell are they already capable of, and what are they using? Because imagine if this is already so good, right? Now I'm going into very deep tinfoil head uncle conspiracy theory territory. But I'm just saying, imagine like AI is already this good, but AI that your government or our government, my government is using is 5 years ahead of this. Now they release something on national TV, footage of something. My point is, can we really tell what is real and what not anymore? Like literally, stuff that we see on the TV. Thankfully, there's Twitter, right? Because Twitter, we get actual like videos from people who are there when events are happening and whatnot. And this is also part of the reason why I think they want to. Now we're getting in super conspiracy theory, but I think part of the reason why they want to, in quotation mark, protect the kids online is the reason they cannot fool us easily anymore, because everyone has access to the internet and everyone can share their videos and different angles of events when events are happening on Twitter, and they don't want that. This is why I feel like they want our government ID to be tied to our online accounts, so that when an event happens, people don't get the idea to share the different angles of that event they have, which would contradict the official stories, that they can like go and threaten them. That you will start and think twice whether you want to share what you've seen. This is now super deep uncle Thanksgiving fighting with your mother conspiracy theory, but I'm just saying, I'm a little bit, that is something that I sometimes think about when I see new technology emerging, because that is usually based on what already exists in secret, right? And with secret, I mean like military. It's not even a secret. Like it has been the case with most like technological advancements. It either comes from the military, because they need to keep advancing this stuff in order to, I guess, keep governments safe, right? There's like an arms race of cyber technology and technology in general, and the second biggest funder of technology is the corn industry. So we get all of these technological advancements thanks to those two sectors, military and corn. I'm just saying that maybe the military doesn't have like advanced AI, but I highly doubt that, because if consumer AI is already this good, is that so weird to think that our governments have the capabilities of something even better? Not saying don't trust your government. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that just think about it, right? Good. That was the big AI part. We can now listen to music again. Those are the two big topics I wanted to talk about. And the rest is pretty much just, what I like during the week. Random stuff, cat videos, awesome gadgets like this chilling like freezer chair that you can buy from Bandai. Someone wrote, I have it, and sadly it's nothing like these pics. It all crushed down and is flat. Aww. Okay, deceiving marketing. Oh, one wholesome thing maybe. This is why I always try and promote IShowSpeed when he does something great, because I think he's a good role model when it comes to streaming. Lots of pieces of shit in the streaming world, right? But IShowSpeed, with the amount of influence he has and the amount of fame he has, it's nice to see that he did not turn out to be like to go into that direction of jackass streamer, right? Because he did have like a very edgy start when he was like starting out like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. The first clip I've ever seen of IShowSpeed was when he made that grape joke on that dating show. I don't know who hosted it. Was it Aiden Ross? And I remember thinking back then, man, what a piece of shit, man. I hope that kid like grows out of it. And thankfully he did. Maybe he didn't deep inside. Who knows, right? You never know with streamer. But at least it appears so that he matured from those like experiences, and he's truly a good voice. Not only for like streamers around the world, but also for the youth. So this was like a wholesome interaction he had with a fan.
Ooh, you watching my stream? You sub? But you not sub. I'm about to sub on your phone. Why you not sub? Look. No way. So you just sub to my channel. Now look, only join my streams when I play games, okay? And always ask your mother, can I watch speed stream? Because I'm not just for kids. So remember, ask your parents before you watch me to see if the settings are right. Because you never know, I might be jumping off of a building or doing a backflip off a building. So always ask your parents, Mom, can I watch IShowSpeed? And it depends on what I'm doing. And if I'm doing something good, if I'm playing Roblox, if I'm playing Still the Brain Rot, you know Still the Brain Rot? Exactly. So if I'm playing that, you can join my stream, okay? Okay, take your phone back. You did.
What a wholesome interaction, right? He basically made sure to subscribe with her phone to his channel. That was nice. And I also told her something very important, something that I guess new gen parents don't really think about, is what is your child watching. So Speed made sure to tell her, hey, I sometimes have content that is not suitable for kids, but sometimes I do things that is suitable for kids, like playing games. So if I'm playing games, you can watch me. If I'm not playing games, don't watch me. But always, and this is the important part, ask your parents whether you can watch me or not. So he's putting the responsibility back into the hands of the parents, which should be the case. Every parent in 2026, it's not the early 2000s anymore where people can say, I don't know anything about the internet. I don't know what is going on. It's 2026. Parents need to know, or at least have an idea. You cannot control your kid 24/7. I totally get that. I'm well aware of that. But you should have an idea and have lots of awareness of what your kid is watching. Especially your young kid. Your teenager will be at his friend's house or at their friend's house at times, and you cannot always, once again, you cannot always control what they're watching. But every like preteen, I would say, that is your responsibility, that a preteen is not watching an 18+ stream where, you know, there's a podcast of a dude hosting OnlyFans girls and he's telling them that they're all whores and whatnot. No teen and no preteen should be watching that kind of shit. Okay, so it is your responsibility. Obviously, a streamer, no matter what type of like size, always has a little bit of responsibility as well, right? Don't get me wrong. Like it doesn't give streamers like a blanco check. Blanco check. Do you say that in English as well? You know what I mean. Like a free pass. A streamer should always be aware of the influence the streamer has, right? But it's not their responsibility to make sure that your kid is watching the appropriate stuff, right? It's just, especially if you label your stream for not for kids, because you can do that on YouTube. YouTube has a feature that literally that you can check which says not for kids. And I think if you check that option, then that stream will not end up on YouTube Kids, which is an app developed for kids who want to watch YouTube, which parents are not using for some reason. Like, YouTube doesn't promote it properly either, in my opinion. I feel like YouTube, instead of just adding more restrictions to creators, to a point where we cannot even say grape or corn in the correct context, because then our channel will get demonetized and shit like that, because advertisers will be angry, because advertisers are here to advertise stuff to also children, right? Instead of doing that, adding more and more restrictions, why not just spend the money and start promoting the app that you already developed, which is YouTube Kids? And on Twitch, you have the option to label your streams as like 18 plus, or have specific stream labels. Like you can basically say, like, if you're having lots of like sexual content in your streams, for example, you can label that as being sexual and whatnot. I would consider my stream to be like 16 plus. I'm not really like doing lots of innuendos or whatever it's called, right? Like, not lots of like sexual jokes. Sometimes I say that's what she said. That's pretty much all all there is. Sometimes I do talk about sex, but it's usually in a certain context, right? I would not label my stream as 18 plus unless I play an 18 plus game, which I did in the past, and then also labeled it 18 plus. Usually I would say it's 16 upwards, right? I try my best to not, I'm trying my best to be as family friendly as I can, right? But I don't want to restrict myself either. That was the whole point why I basically removed the family friendly label, because when I started out streaming, I had the family friendly label. I did not curse, I did not play any like brutal games or anything like that. But then I also noticed, okay, kind of restricting myself a little bit too much, because like sometimes I get angry and I want to curse, and I cannot do that when you're like family friendly. Or you have to say stuff like frick instead of the F-bomb, right? So yeah, I removed that label from my channel many years ago. But it's not like my all of a sudden my channel went up like upside down. The only thing that kind of changed is that I'm now allowed to talk about like serious topics as well, without the kid gloves, basically, right? I can curse occasionally, and I can play more like deeper and darker games, like 16 upwards, I would say. Yeah, but that was nice. I'm always happy for like positive role models in the streamer scene, because I feel like there's lots of like bad streamers out there. It's definitely not the majority, but it is a loud majority. It's a loud minority. That is the issue, because the edgier you are, the more like wicked stuff you do, the higher the clippability basically of your streams, the more it will be shared and shit like that. Unfortunately, that is the case. Negativity is drawing more attention. Negativity makes the average person, I guess, feel better about their life as well. If someone else is losing, that makes you feel like you're winning, even though you're also losing in life, right? Like that dinosaur dude that came into the stream at the beginning, him just shitting on women, I guess, makes him feel better about himself. And I feel sad that people are feeling that way. And I always try and amplify positive voices in the scene. Like Speed, like Kaisenet, I would say, is also teaching good values. Lots of VTubers are also. Iron Mouse is another example, I think. It's just a wholesome person who just focuses on positivity and not so much negativity. Lots of examples out there. Like I cannot name everyone. Like as I said, the majority of our streamer community or VTuber community is positive. It's just that the negative examples are just very loud. It's a loud minority because it's also more clippable. A wholesome moment is less clippable than a wholesome one. Like this one, for example, has 3,500 likes, 50k views, 100 retweets, 4 comments. What do you think would happen if Speed would have told her something else? Would have told the kid, hey, never tell your parents that that you watch me, right? Because they might not allow you to watch me, right? So always keep this a secret. If you watch my channel, just watch it alone, right? What do you think would have happened? He would have been blasted on timeline, bad for the kids, bad influence, etc. Every clip would have received 100k likes and 60 million impressions and whatnot. It's just that negativity draws more attention, unfortunately. So, next up, something we talked about intensively, I think last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week. Or the week before, I don't know. One of the streams in the last 2 weeks. And now people finally understand what I was dealing with. So, you know, I left TikTok when they added the new TOS. The old TOS was already bad, but they added a new TOS which gave them even more location-based information. They already are like a Gestapo app, right? Like a Stasi app. They already know everything about you, but then the new TOS added like a layer, they want to know even more about you, even more detailed information about you. So there's now apparently, I didn't know because I left the app. I had to private. Someone wrote, I have to private my TikTok due to new changes. The app now has a tab where it shows your content to anyone local to you. Which is crazy. It already did that anyways, but now apparently it has a tab for it. From what I've seen, there's no way to back out of it. No, there isn't, because once you create a TikTok account, basically give the app permission to scan everything in your phone, right? It also communicates with other apps. It sees your location, it sees your SIM card, it sees your IMEA or whatever that number is in your phone, basically your serial. You cannot spoof it, you cannot fool it. You just give the app the allowance to spy on you. Literally. It has nothing to do with the Chinese, because now it's in the hand of the Americans and they do the same. It's just a very bad app to have on your phone or your PC. If you download the TikTok PC app, right, you give them even like root system thingies. What is it called? Not approval. What is it called? You know what I mean. You basically give permission. That was the word I was missing. You give it permission to basically see everything on your PC as well. It's insane. I talked about it intensively in one of my previous streams where I tried to create an American TikTok account while living in Germany, and that I basically had to turn into James Bond in order to accomplish that. And it still blocked me afterwards. Like, I was able to create an official, legit American account, but it kind of blocked me out of all the features because it was suspicious of my account. You literally have to turn into like Edward Snowden in order to create a TikTok account that is not based in your country and that is not reading all of your informations. Because once you refuse to give it information, it will tag your account as suspicious, and then it will not allow you to like other videos. It will basically treat you like a bot. It would not allow you to like other videos. It will not allow you to post. My post button was literally grayed out. I was able to post one video, and then afterwards my post button was grayed out. I couldn't upload anymore. So it basically refused to let me upload. It refused to let me comment and like. And at some point I was like, you know what? Why do I even go through all of this struggle so I can upload content on their platform? I want to emphasize one more time. These platforms, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, those are UGC platforms. User-generated content. They don't live without your content. They literally are empty. TikTok doesn't produce, they don't have a production team, or maybe at this point they have because they're huge, but they don't produce anything. They are literally providing a platform for you to upload something, and all they are doing is infrastructure basically. And to give you, I guess, the social proofing by giving you lots of likes and views and whatnot. But if all of the TikTok users decide to stop uploading tomorrow, the platform dies. It literally dies. Same with Twitter. If every one of us just decide to not tweet anymore, it dies. There's nothing left on Twitter. Same with YouTube. If you don't tube yourself anymore and don't upload anymore, YouTube is empty. Okay, at this point there's so much content up there that it will probably like last 1,000 years. I'm just saying, we don't have to deal with these things. We can actively push against it, but people, I guess, don't care anymore about their public data or their private data, and this is why it's a losing battle. But if we would have a brain, if we could just organize and come together and be like, no, we don't accept these dumbass TOSs, and we don't accept that this software is spying on us, literally spying on us and our locations, and recommending the stuff to your friends, to your local friends, to your contacts, even though you disabled contact. But if you disabled contact and one of your friends didn't, they can still get your name from their contact list, which is absolutely stupid, right? If we would just say, no, we don't want this, and we're not gonna upload unless TikTok caves, TikTok would cave, or otherwise it would die. We literally have the power with all of these UGC platforms. The power lies in the user. But I guess the user is too dumb to realize that. Or people just don't care. So this person, in my opinion, made the right choice. It definitely hurts with 288k followers. They basically threw away their account. An account that they built. A user base that they built. It's sad. I feel for this person. I did not have a big lots of troubles throwing away my account because I literally had like 600 followers or so. Not that it wasn't hurtful either, because I put a lot of hours into that, like uploading, even if it's just stuff that I uploaded on YouTube anyway, so it was like a double upload. It still took away time of my life, right? So that time I will never get back, and this person probably spent even more time on TikTok. I rarely consume TikToks. I was just an uploader, content provider, I guess. I spent more time on YouTube Shorts. I think YouTube's just a better ecosystem in general. So yeah, I feel bad for this person, 100%. But if you want to stay anonymous as a VTuber, you cannot use TikTok. That's it. That's literally it. Like there's no way around it, because eventually it will find out who you are and who your close family members are. You know what it also does? If you're wondering why, even if you're using a new phone, right? And with no context inside of that phone, and it still somehow finds your relatives. Even just don't use TikTok at all. Wait, Double Chitchat, why didn't I see your message? I just saw it pop up in the event window. Wait, I did not ban you accidentally, right? When I tried to ban that I'm a dinosaur dude. I'm just gonna type the unban. Hello, Icathian. I'm just gonna do like the unban, just in case. Now I'm a little bit scared because your messages don't show up anymore. Did I accidentally ban you when I tried to ban that dinosaur dude on YouTube? Double Choco Chip. Double Choco Chip. Can you type something, Double Choco Chip, if that's possible? I'm a bit afraid that I accidentally banned you. Because your voice match, your TTS doesn't come through either. But it triggered earlier. Also, hello, Icathian. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing great. Welcome, 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 welcome. No, wait, Icathian was the one who triggered TTS, not Double Chocojit. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, I got a little bit confused, but the Icathian TTS also didn't come through. But it was coming through earlier. Like when Double Chook Chip joined the stream, he also made a TTS redeem and it did work. I did hear it. Wait, is it because I... Wait a second. JC T T T T T talk show. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Ah, okay. All right. Well, thank you for the 15 stream streak. I didn't know you can leave message with that. I'm such a boomer. I'm such a boomer. I was aware that there's this new like feature that basically counts your stream streaks. I didn't know you can leave messages now, like when you have like a subscription streak and whatnot. Ah, okay. That confused me, sorry. I usually don't use the TTS because I don't want to bother. What? No, this is what the TTS is for. TTS, this is why it's also not really like, it's not turned on in every stream, but in the streams where we just talk, I think it's fun to give people a voice. Unless it's being, you know, abused, like when you're using a TTS message every 60 seconds to like post one word, that's different, right? But there's already a cooldown. I placed a 60-second cooldown, so it shouldn't be a big deal. When I don't want TTS messages, like when we are playing story-heavy games, like Kingdom Hearts, for example, I turn off the TTS because I really want us to focus on what is going on. And sometimes people use the TTS at literally the worst timing in a story moment, right? I remember that happening in Expedition 33 after Verso died. Oops, spoiler alert, by the way. Like, one character dies, and then like super emotional moment in Act 1, and then we get like a TTS that kind of like it can ruin the moment sometimes. Hello Empires, hello, how's it going? It's going great. How about your day? Hope everyone had a fantastic Valentine's weekend. Not just the Valentine's Day, but I hope your entire weekend was good. But yeah, I'm chilling watching some Bakugan Battle Brawlers. What? Bakugan, I remember that. I never watched it because I was just too much into other animes, and Bakugan just didn't appeal to me. It was kind of a mix of, I don't know, Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess. I don't know, but I remember the commercial for Bakugan always. But Bakugan, I feel like it just was bad timing that Bakugan came out during the prime of all of these anime shows, right? Yu-Gi-Oh was a thing, Beyblade was a thing during Bakugan, Battle Brawlers, it just had no chance. I loved it a lot. I never watched it. As I said, I was just too into other animes, and Bakugan never, like the commercial, the trailer that I saw, it never really appealed to me. Wait, I see the kittens on the desk. Was that there for a long time, or is it a new feature? It was kind of there for a long time, and then I removed it again, and then now I implemented it again. So this was a thing during our like early just chatting days on YouTube, exclusive. But now that we are multi-streaming again, I tried to make it work with multi-streaming. I had some issues, some glitches happening. I couldn't get it done, but now I figured out how to do it with 2 streams running. So yeah, these are your representatives. The little tiger cubs running around. It actually has a lot of seasons. I can imagine. I'm not saying it was not popular or anything like that. It just wasn't popular with me. But I remember it coming out or being a thing during the time where I watched all of these other shows like Shaman King and Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Conan and I don't know, like you name it. Like there was so many good animes out there, and even back then attention was a little bit like finite, right? You couldn't just watch everything. And from the trailer I saw, I was like, okay, I don't need to add this to my list. Bakugan. It was something with like monsters, but also dice, right? This is the only thing that I remember from the trailers. They were like throwing dice, and it just created monsters or something like that. Yeah, let's finish up the point I was making over here. I think Ikathian just summarized it perfectly. Just don't use TikTok. If you want to stay somewhat anonymous, just don't use TikTok. Right? And this goes especially for VTubers. And one thing I wanted to say before I got like distracted for a second. Even if you're using a phone that has no contacts in it, right? You get a new phone with a new SIM card. It can still find your family members or your friends or your girlfriend or your wife. You know how? It knows when another person logs into your same like Wi-Fi with their TikTok account. It connects IP addresses. So even if you, let's say you buy a new phone, new SIM card, right? You create a new TikTok account, even if, like especially for that phone. You have no contacts in your phone at all, not a single contact. But then a friend comes around, right? A friend visits you, and they log into your Wi-Fi, right? Now you're on the same Wi-Fi IP, right? On the same IP, same address, and they log into their TikTok. Even if you don't have them as friends, as contacts, as anything, the fact that you use TikTok on the same IP is enough for TikTok to link your channels. And then it will recommend your channel to him and their channel, your channel to them. That makes sense. I hope I said it right. So this software is just absolutely horrible. So if you're a VTuber, once again, if you're a VTuber and you keep it a secret from your friends or your family members, don't let them use TikTok on your like IP. on your Wi-Fi address. Okay? Because once they do, like your channel will be recommended to them. It will be linked. Absolutely horrible dog shit software. Okay, so that was that. We already talked about the big issues that are also in the title, so I apologize if you just came for those super awesome topics. Then you have to watch the VOD. Also, the VODs, for people who are wondering, why do the Twitch VODs disappear? It's because we're multi-streaming and the VODs will be saved on YouTube anyways. So I don't see the need to have the VODs in two places, flooding the channels on two places, right? So if you missed a stream, no issue, no problem. Everything will be stored for you on YouTube. So hop on over on YouTube if you missed a stream. I'll watch the VOD because I came late. Maybe you should watch only the middle part where I talk about the AI stuff, because at the beginning we had a viewer come in calling all women whores. And then I went on like a little bit of a tangent, also banned that person. So maybe just watch the middle part. But yeah, I might keep this stream up as well on Twitch, just because I want people to know that we have the stuff on YouTube. So if the VODs on Twitch disappear, it is on YouTube. I don't think I ever made it clear. So I'm gonna leave this stream up, so people who watch the VOD hopefully will know, okay, This is why the streams kind of disappeared. Or maybe I should just keep all of the streams up and give people the option to like where to watch the VOD. Maybe some people just watch stuff on Twitch, I don't know. But I feel like YouTube is the better experience anyways. Because number one, if you do happen to get ads, you can skip everything. And YouTube also allows me to make more like detailed chapters. There's chaptering on Twitch as well, but usually only chapters only happen when you switch the category. That's the only time like Twitch does chaptering. Unless they changed it. But I doubt they changed it. I think it's still the same, right? Alright, more Valentine's stuff. We have this awesome YouTube on Twitter on desktop allows people to upload these huge ass like vertical images. I have no idea how they do it, but it looks so cool. Look at this. Look at this. It says tap to fix right couples. Happy Valentine's Day. And then you click this and it's just... That's awesome. That's really cool. Once again, I don't know how they do this. Is it just that they upload 4 images in like vertical? Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably the maximum vertical layout for an image. It's probably 1080 by... Yeah, it's the vertical layout. It's 1920 height and 1080 width, and they just upload 4 of them and crop them in a certain position. Cool. Yeah, that is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Look at this Flaschenöffner. What is this called in English? Bottle opener? Not, probably not, right? Oh, it is bottle opener. Okay. I swear I did not read the description, because in German the word is also like translated directly that way. Bottle means Flasche, and opener, well, it's Öffner. Flaschenöffner, bottle opener. Cool. See, this is the stuff that really makes me happy when I see like awesome themed everyday objects or everyday tools themed in like a funny anime way, or Pokemon in this case. Then there's this thing. There's a pinball Pokemon machine, and the only reason I liked it is because I got so mad at the fact that the pinball in this pinball machine is not a Pokeball. Why do you theme everything Pokemon based, but the thing that is literally a ball, the pinball itself, is not Pokemon themed? This is I don't understand. This is also very expensive. I think this one will cost you like $12,000. How did they mess up this bad? Am I wrong? Shouldn't the pinball in a Pokemon pinball machine be a Pokeball? Maybe they did it because they want to like ensure it's visible, the ball, because if you turn this into a white red ball and everything is so colorful, maybe you won't be able to track it properly with your eyes. I'm not exactly sure. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but I got so mad when I saw this. So I was like, how's the pinball in the Pokemon pinball machine not a Pokeball? My thoughts exactly, yep. 12K for this. I guess this is just something that if you have like a man cave, right? With lots of retro gaming stuff and a pool table and whatnot, this is probably something you would buy as well. But for 12K, not exactly sure if I would love to pay 12K for a pinball machine. 2K, I would say, is okay for that, right? 12,000 for a pinball machine? Something retro just to have it in your basement or whatever, right? I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay. Then there's a cat hard at work. People come up with the coolest items. Most of these are unfortunately copyrighted songs, so it's gonna be rough for me to watch these videos. Oh, another thing that we literally talked about. Was it on Tuesday? Was it a Tuesday or last week? I'm not exactly sure, but we talked about AI basically driving GPU prices, or driving companies out of the consumer market, right? Because they are now building all these AI data centers. And apparently HP is now the first company who offers a gaming laptop subscription. And I literally said it. As I said, I don't know if it was on Tuesday or it was the week after, before that. I told you that the era of personal computers might be coming to an end. That these companies realize that people are willing to subscribe to everything, so we need to make sure that they own as less as possible. And now we have subscriptions for gaming laptops. Wait, let me take a sip. Sorry. And I told you. Now, what is happening? They're poisoning me because I'm speaking the truth. They're trying to kill me. Okay. I replied with the whole reason behind the GPU memory shortages. They want to remove the P out of the PC. Now I'm turning into like conspiracy theory uncle again. Because before I believed in the shortages, right? That we only have like 2 GPU manufacturers and we have 3 memory manufacturers, right? So if one of them or 2 of them get out of the consumer market, like shortages make a lot of sense. But then when I saw this article, I was like, do we really have a shortage, or do they just want to like start to train our brains into subscribing into everyday objects? Now I'm starting to doubt it. If Jinyo suddenly stops posting, we know why. They got me. They're turning the frogs gay. The media's trying, the deep state's trying to kill me. No, I'm just gonna say I'm starting to doubt that there's a GPU and memory shortage. When we have this, I think it is all maybe like a manufactured shortage in order to like warm us up with the idea that, you know, maybe we should just subscribe to a laptop. Why own it? Just subscribe to it, right? The same has happened with PlayStation now, where PlayStation is offering leasing. You can lease a PlayStation now, which is the dumbest thing I've ever read. Because if anything, right, if you're too broke to buy a PlayStation, I'm not one of those people who say if you're too broke to buy a PlayStation cash, don't buy a PlayStation. Right? Because some people just don't have that money, but I feel like that people don't have the disposable income, right? They still deserve to play games and buy stuff for their children, right? But there's something for it, which is called like financing stuff, right? So instead of buying a PlayStation cash, you finance it. They will put some interest on top of it. So instead of paying $500 for PlayStation, you pay $600 over the course of 2 years. It is kind of like a trade-off, right? You're poor, but you can still buy something for your kids or for yourself and treat yourself. And the trade-off is that, well, you are essentially paying more than the people who are paying cash for it, right? Because the companies who are basically loaning, is that the word? Like, basically they are buying the console for you, kind of, right? And the way that they earn money because it's not a charity, right? Is to just put lots of interest on top of it. It's kind of a disgusting system because it's exploiting poor people who just want to afford something occasionally, right? But it is the way it is. So I'm not exactly sure why anyone would ever lease a console instead of financing it. If you don't have the money to buy it up straight up, right? Why would you lease it? Because after leasing ends, if you ever leased a car before, you know this, right? You swap out the cars, and like with cars, it's even worse because cars, if you lease a car, you there's like only like a certain amount of kilometers that you can, or mileages in your case in America, that you can put on the car, right? Otherwise you'll be fined, and then after 3 years you swap out your cars, right? So is that going to be the same with the PlayStations? How is that even gonna work? After 3 years, you can swap out your PlayStation for PlayStation 6, right? Are you getting fined for only for playing too much on it? Like, how does that even work? Hello, Crookley. You got the funny tiny avatar things from Steam. Yeah, I've had this for probably 5 years. But I like sometimes I use them and then I got rid of them again, and then I used them again, and I found these cute white tiger avatars, and then a couple of, was it last year or the year before that, I decided to use them again. And then last month I wanted to implement them again when I got rid of them, but I did not understand how to do that with multi-streaming, because it always gave me errors. It kind of locked me out of some accounts. Every time I tried to add Twitch, it locked me out of YouTube. When I tried to add YouTube, it locked me out of Twitch. But there's like a little check mark you have to, like a little box you have to check in order to do like multi-streaming avatars, which I didn't know. Also, I forgot my password of my bot account. I had to basically send the password, or like reset the password, because I just forgot it. Last time I used it was like a year ago, 2 years ago. That's why. So now I got it working with both YouTube and Twitch, which is cool. They're called guarantors, I think. I have that on my mortgage. I don't know if it applies to financing tech too. Yeah, it's just so weird to me that, because like when you're offering something as a company, right? You plan things ahead, right? This is not a decision that they made from one day to another. This has been in the pipelines for a while. So this is why my conspiracy tinfoil hat uncle spider senses went on. When I saw this article, I was like, wait a minute. Nvidia dropping out, not doing any more GPUs. Like that memory company doesn't do any consumer stuff anymore because they want to build for data centers. Then HP comes around with this subscription-based model. Wait a minute, like something. Correlation is not always causation, but in this case, I feel like there's like an internal shift, and all the manufacturers were like, yes, let them just rent things, because if they own stuff, they will not like upgrade that much, right? If you own a PC, you're good for like a couple of years. You might do some minor upgrades, maybe a little bit more RAM. Maybe you're gonna switch out the GPU, maybe like after 4 years or so. But you can just stay on your old tech for a very, very long time, especially if you're not even doing hardcore gaming, just a little bit of casual gaming, cozy games, right? And mostly doing office work. You can stay on a PC for like 10 years if you want to. My PC over here, the one that I have right now, if I would just not game on it at all, not doing VTubing on it, not streaming, if I would just use this as an office PC, right, which would be overkill, I could probably use this for the next 15 years and I would be good. And I think companies don't like that. And this is why we enter the era of subscriptions. There's a subscription for everything now. They started doing it with cars as well, which I gave them a huge middle finger. Every company that does that will not be, like, I will never own a car from that company. Not even a used one. I wouldn't be even willing to use, I wouldn't even get a free one from them. I swear to God, there's so many companies that are now shifting to subscription-based features in your cars, in the modern cars. I will never own a modern car. I will always go for like an older 210 model or even older than that, buy it, and own all features on it. The fact that you have to unlock your seat heaters or memory seats, you know, like memory seats that remember where, like when you adjust your seat electronically, and it remembers where you're seating, and you can, depending on what car you have, you can have like 2 profiles or 3 profiles even. So depending on the person, you don't have to always adjust. If your wife sits in your car, she clicks on profile 2 and the seat adjusts perfectly for her, right? Those are features that are now basically being locked behind a paywall, literally, and a subscription. And if you don't pay for that subscription, they will just lock the feature. Like we should now like step on the brakes as humanity. We need to stop on the brakes, step on the brakes, and tell those companies that this is not something we like appreciate and we should go for. Like everything being subscription based. Are you kidding me? You want heated seats in winter? Too bad you did not pay the additional $25. Now you don't have heated seats. You want to have memory seats? Remove that because you were late on like the $5 subscription. You want to drive your car? Too bad. Too bad that's only included in the ultimate subscription, but you only have the normal subscription, so you cannot drive. You have to push your car. You want to have 6 gears? Too bad. 6 gears only for ultimate. You have to deal with 3. That is so dumb. Seat adjustment profiles? Yes. You can, like some cars, and I was lucky enough to, like, because my as I told you, like my brother owned this car company, or like car service company, I should say, where we drove around cars all day. I got to sit in every single price range of a car from like, I don't know. I don't want to like diminish anyone's car right now. That's why I don't want to use a specific manufacturer. Let me just say, from a $10,000 car to a $200,000 supercar, I got to drive them all. And my personal favorite was the S-Class Mercedes. I mean, that was just... If I would ever have like the money to buy that without it hurting my heart and my wallet, I would be buying an S-Class. I don't think there's anything more luxurious and greater feeling than driving an S-Class. It literally feels like you're driving on clouds. And it's even better as someone who isn't driving. Like if you're just sitting in a backseat in an S-Class, it's even better. But even as a driver, it feels amazing. And these higher ranged cars, they have memory seating. They literally remember, that's why they're called memory seats, your adjustments. You know, when you, I don't know if you already have your driver's license correctly, but when you are driving a car, you usually adjust your seats, you adjust your windows and whatnot. So your rear view window, your side view, is it called side view windows? I don't know. But you adjust your seat as well based on your height and whatnot, right? And these higher range cars, even like mid-range cars have them as well. So you don't really have to have like a high-range car for that. They have like profiles, just like you have profiles in games. And some cars have like 2 profiles, some have 3, and they remember how you adjusted your seat. So when another person sits in your seat, and they use profile 2, for example, right? And then you go back into your seat, you just click on profile 1, and your seat will just automatically adjust. It will just move on itself. Beep, 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 based on how you adjusted it before. Those are memory seats. And these types of features, they are now basically being put behind paywalls, like additional subscription paywalls. Because our cars are now basically computers, and they are connected to the internet, they are connected to the manufacturers. They now offer these types of subscriptions. Not all of them, mind you, and thankfully not for all cars. But if you want like a newer Audi, I saw, does that with some of their cars, with some of their lines, where they just, you know, they sell you subscription features, like feature subscriptions. Want heated seats? That's an additional subscription. Like you add basically like what used to be packages for your car that you paid additionally, right? If you buy a car, you have like a base package, and then there's like a premium package. There's like the sports package as well. They basically broke the packages apart into subscription based now. Something that used to be included in like the premium package, I would say, from your car that you bought, maybe it was like a Dreier BMW, right? You bought a 3 BMW 3 Series, right? There's a sports package, and there's like a premium package that has everything included, like automatic driving, and like heated seats and navigational system, surround sound from Bose, right? Like, you know what I mean. That type of thing, they have now basically broken apart into subscriptions. So if you want to have heated seats, it's already in your car, right? But it's not unlocked, because it will only unlock once you pay for that subscription. And that is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Maybe there's a way to crack your car. I don't know if that is possible, but yeah, I think there is definitely a you could say like a use case for subscriptions. I think it's okay for movies and whatnot, right? Because what we used to do in the analog days, we kind of had like a movie subscription as well, right? We went to a Blockbuster. We picked up 2 movies. One movie was like $150 for 2 days for a weekend, right? And then you had to return it on Monday. So if you picked up 2 movies, that was $3. Maybe you picked up an additional game, and that was $4.50 per weekend. So if you add that up, if you do that every single weekend in a month, that would be like $13 or so, right? So it makes a lot of sense that when Netflix came around and whatnot, that you have a subscription monthly for being able to watch as many movies as you want, as many shows as you want. I think that is totally fine. I think for something like Netflix, a subscription-based model makes a lot of sense, because we did not do anything differently in the analog days, right? Only difference is that in the analog days, you didn't go every weekend, right? You spent maybe 2 out of the 4 weekends you had to maybe outline, what is that? Rent a movie, right? But with a Netflix subscription, you pay basically $15.99 or whichever subscription you're on, $14.99, and whether you watch the show or not, or watch movies or not, you'll still pay for it. That's the only difference to the analog days. The analog days gave us, I guess, a bit more freedom and options, because on some weekends you just didn't watch any movies, or maybe you went to the cinema instead. So you only basically paid for what you actually did, what you actually watched and rented. To be certain, I didn't drive that many cars, but the best car I've ever drove and I liked the most was my first shit car. Grande Punto. A Punto! Nice. From 2008, it was so destroyed that I had to fight with gears when driving 18 kilometers and more. Two of mine sometimes was turning off. I overdid it with gas and it literally trembled and shaken while driving above on. Oh, I can attest to that. I never had like a car like that, but I remember an uncle of mine had a car. I don't even remember what car it was, but we called it Philip. Me and my brother and my cousin and whatnot, because it always made this sound when it was driving, and it also had all kinds of issues. And there was a time where we went playing soccer, and my uncle was with us. Like most of my uncles also played soccer with us, so sometimes on weekends, especially in summertime when my cousins from afar were also around, we went just to a football place and just played a little bit of football. And there was a time where we just got stuck because of that car from my uncle. But yeah, I do remember being scared to death on the highway in that car, because it was just making all kinds of sounds. Most prominently, Philip. Also, when he was shifting gear, it was making this like gnarly sound. It was like, wow. So it was Philip, 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 Philip. Wow! Every time he shifted gear. I think Tesla came up first with subscriptions. A lot of people thought it was a bad idea, but now every company follows that, even though the customer doesn't want it. The problem is when the majority adapts it, it becomes a trend. That has always the case. If everyone would have boycotted Tesla when they introduced the subscription-based shit, they would have removed that feature. And then all the other car companies would have been like, oh shit, we cannot do it. Like, they are not happy. Consumers are not happy with it. But when Tesla does it, and there's a vocal minority saying, we're going to boycott Tesla, but it's not going to affect the company because the majority just adapts to the subscription-based model, then the other car manufacturers are saying, hey, if they can do it, we can do it as well. And this is how we normalize things. This is how technology gets adopted. There are early adopters, and this is basically like the, I guess, like the consumer test. And when it's being widely accepted, and there's no damage done to the company, all the others follow suit. Doors wasn't closing sometimes, and I had to regulate them from time to time. And in winter, I had to open the trunk from inside. That was funny. But you do get to appreciate like cars that are not as broken when you had a broken car like that, Crookley. So I call that like humble beginnings. You will always remember that Punto, even if you're like 50 years old. You will always remember that Punto. Wait, Robin Williams is trending? Why is he trending? Is it his death day? Rest in peace, Robin Williams. He was a kind soul. Robin Williams. Every time a celebrity is trending, it's either their anniversary of their death, or they said something stupid, or they died. But Robin Williams already died, so it's odd that he's trending. Okay, so that was that. My advice to everyone is to try and own as many things as you can possibly can. Okay? Because the time of owning things is coming to an end. I'm not even dooming here, right? I'm not a doomer. But I truly think the entire industry, and that goes for the entire consumer industry, is slowly but surely trying to train us into not owning anything anymore and being okay with it, seeing it as like the normal thing. And for us, it's still odd because we are the older kind of like generation, but just think of generation, what is it, Sigma, Alpha? I don't know, the generation after the Zoomers, or maybe the generation that comes even after that. It's probably going to be very, very normal for them to not be owning anything. And this is what they are trying to normalize. Man, I'm sounding like a crazy dude today. Lots of conspiracy theories today, but isn't it true? Like, please tell me you're thinking at least in a similar fashion. I think they don't want us, and with they I don't mean like a secret cabal, right? Like it's just the consumer market. I think they don't want us to own something. Palette cleanser. A dude getting a shirt with his cat's face and a shirt for his cat with the dude's face. That is awesome. Also, this is just tying to something I said last week when we watched the halftime show, right? I said the people, I don't know if you remember, but I said that the people were, the bushes were people in costumes, right? Which is true. And then I also said maybe that's why Professor Oak is telling you to not go into the tall grass, because it might just be people and kidnap you. I don't know if you remember this, but someone just made this out, this video, and it made me really laugh. It's like someone listened to me. Oh, someone just had the same stupid idea. Just look at this. Bad Bunny, it's unsafe. Wild Pokemon live in tall grass. It's so stupid. A wild Lady Gaga appeared. Alright. Sorry, that was just, it was just so funny to me because I literally, like, I referenced Pokemon when we watched the halftime show and then someone just posted this. There's more shit car that we have right now. Safety hazard, but it's perfect for every job is old ass Peugeot partner. A Peugeot partner? I don't even know this model. You have to hold wheel turned a little bit to the left for the for it to be driving straight. Has a little bit of stick drift. Sometimes battery just breaks and you have to disconnect it and connect it, turn the lights on. There's no head of gear changer, only poles. If you don't know in what position a particular gear is, then good luck. Trunk isn't closing and operating steering wheel is a workout. I mean, if it's just for the farm that you're working on, right? Just to transport stuff, that will do. I don't know if I should say this, but George Orwell warned us, at least metaphorically. I never read the 1984. What is his book? I know, like, since it's being mentioned on almost every tweet, I know it's about like surveillance states, right? Like, I never read the book. I should be probably, because I've been talking so much about all of this shit. But I never read the book. What was it, 1986 or 1984? It turns like it's a ship. Modern ships are not. Modern ships might turn faster than your car, Croakley. You don't get those fun times in modern cars. Yeah. So this is the first thing that I learned when I learned how to drive a car is that all the movies were fooling us. Because in the movies, you know how the actors, I cannot do it here with my Vtuber models, but they're driving like they are steering and like a truck, right? They're using the steering wheel, like they're shifting it left to right, and not even with older cars that did not have Servolenkung. I don't know what Servolenkung is in English, but even with those older cars, you never had to really like steer like they did in the movies. And the first time I went behind the wheels, I obviously, because I only knew it from like the movies, right? I never really paid attention to how my parents drove or my brother drove. So I also thought that I would just have to, if I turn around or like turn left or just basically keep the car straight, I just had to, you know, adjust the driving line basically the entire time, until I realized that, oh, you literally just need a finger, literally a finger to move the car, to turn the car. It's not as severe as they make you think in the movies. Can even steer with your knees and keep everything straight. It's 1984. Definitely there's no adrenaline and no fun. Where's the thrill of almost crushing our car just not turning nowadays? I disagree with that. I think the more boring and safe your car is, the better. I don't want to fear for my life when I'm driving next to a truck. I'm having a delay with my messages, so it kind of breaks the chain of the discussion. It's fine. It's fine. It is fine. We were done talking with about like 1984 anyways, right? Surveillance state. Hopefully it won't get that bad. I mean, it's going to go into a little bit of like a direction where none of us can truly be anonymous anymore on the internet. It's not like you're anonymous anyways. Once again, like if you have a little bit of an idea of how cybersecurity works, you're not really anonymous. However, I think it's going to become the norm just because the internet was the wild, wild west for such a long time. And I guess parents don't want to parent anymore. I think it's going to go in a direction where if you log in, everyone, like all the platforms will kind of know who you are, like because you're, maybe they're tying it to your government ID. I think it, some states are already doing it. Maybe, is it Australia? I think in Australia you can only log in, or was it social media? I think Australia has already a social media ban, right? For people below the age of 16. I don't know if it's the laws already like set and how well it's working. But Australia, I think, already has that. This is another cool figurine, but I cannot show you the music because it's music from the anime, and anime music usually gets claimed. But this is a Digimon first season figurine, which basically encompasses or includes everything that happens in season 1, or every major event that happens in season 1. Oh, no! Just crazy. I mean, not everything. There's certain things that are still missing, obviously, but it gives you a good idea of season. Like, if you watch season 1, this figurine will make a lot of sense. And that's really, really cool. Absolutely amazing. But this one is probably very expensive. These very accurate anime figurines are so expensive. Wow. Really, really cool. Do we have maybe a link? Where can I buy this splendid diorama? China Shangyu app. It's from China. My childhood. Yeah, this is basically someone's childhood in one figurine. Or diorama. I watched a short today about Gen Alpha parents bragging that the kid uses an iPad at 6 months. Great. Some even had their kids say iPad as their first word. That is sad. That is sad. I love trucks and buses, the moments when Turbine was just turning off in the middle of overtaking them were adrenaline shots. Now seriously, it was very dangerous. How did he even overturn them when you can go 80 kilometers maximum? That's gonna be very, very risky. It's gonna take you like 5 minutes to I haven't seen Pokemon, but I did grow up with Digimon. It's a good trade-off. I loved it. As a child, I used to have a crush on Woman. Yeah. I think lots of people had a crush on her. I watched both. I was one of those rare childs who watched both Digimon and Pokemon. I think I grew out of... It's so funny. Like, I grew out of the Pokemon show after like season 2. After season 2, it was kind of like a baby show for me. Like I felt too grown to watch Pokemon, but I kept watching Digimon until my teenage years, and I kept playing the Pokemon games. Like the Pokemon games, I would still play Pokemon to this day. Like I never grew out of those, but with the series, like with the anime, the Pokemon anime, after season 2, my brain was like, nah, I cannot watch this anymore. Like, this is so silly. It's always the same. Team Rocket always trying to get to steal Pikachu, and the Pokemon always saying their names. It's so silly. Like, it's Pika and Squirtle. That was fun when you were in elementary school. Once you get out of elementary school. Not saying that adults cannot watch Pokemon, okay? I'm just saying that as a child, I was like, I want the real shit. I want the real drama. And I kept watching Digimon. I think Digimon was more geared towards teenagers anyways. Also, what I also love about Digimon is that they made like different generations of kids going into the digital worlds and being Digi-Ritter, is what they called it in English, in German, which would translate to Digi-Knights. So the characters that we grew up with, they also grew up, and this is something I already told you many times that I really appreciate, is when animes are, I guess, brave enough to make some of their characters grow old, or some of their characters even die, right? Huge fan of Dragon Ball. I think Dragon Ball is the GOAT of Shonen Jumps, because Toriyama, even though Dragon Ball was like creating billions upon billions, he wasn't afraid to try and pass the torch. He did not end up succeeding, but there was an attempt to pass the torch to Gohan. It was just a problem that he created such a loving character with Goku that he wasn't able to pass the torch. But there was an attempt. I don't know when it was, but I watched a translated interview where he said that the Cell Saga, like the Android Saga, was basically his attempt to slowly pass the torch, Goku being dead and whatnot. He wanted to make Gohan the next main character, but it didn't work. But at least he had the balls to be like, you know what, Goku's story is over. He married, he had children, he reached his maximum, right? And then he was killed, he died. And now it's the next generation, right? It's Gohan, it's Trunks, and it's Goten. It's up to them to basically save the world or be the protectors of Earth. Problem is that the ratings and merchandising and everything just basically he was not able to to make Gohan the main guy. But that is something, once again, I always appreciated, and that is also one of my major gripes I have with One Piece. Even though I love the One Piece characters and whatnot, if after 20 years or so, the only emotional death we have experienced is one guy, or maybe two, that's kind of, I don't know, it destroys the entire like thrill and like danger of the Grand Line. If Luffy manages, and I know Luffy's strong and all of Luffy's friends are strong and they're very special pirates as well, right? They're specialized people in their respective genre, the samurai and the martial artists, and you know, like I understand, but I feel like at this point, at the very least, Luffy should have lost one crew member. And it sounds cruel, but to me as a viewer, it would have made sure that I understand the dangers of the Grand Line and that sacrifices do happen, right? In order to liberate the world, in order to become the king of all pirates, this should have happened to me. Like one of his closer friends, the crew members, should have died. That is what I would have done. Just look at Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is the exact opposite, where nobody survives. Like it's just, you're happy if one person survives. It doesn't matter if it's just a random person in the show that had two lines. It doesn't matter. This show is crushing your soul so hard that you just, I at this point, I don't know who survives at the end. Like I don't think anyone is safe. And that, in my opinion, that takes balls. Considering how popular certain characters are, if you're still like brave enough to be like, you know what, fuck the merchandising, it's all about my story and it's important for my story for this character to die, then I'm gonna kill him. And that happens a lot in Jujutsu Kaisen. We also had Shaman King. I think it was popular in the Balkans and Eastern Europe. That anime has a special place in my heart. I loved Shaman King as well. Funny thing is, when it was running in German TV, I never finished it. I always watched it when it was basically on air. And like 10 years later or so, I actually watched the entire show and finished it in Japanese, and it was really cool. Really cool Shonen Jump. With Yo, was it right? Main character's name was Yo. And was all about, it was shamans who had like different stands, basically. They had like avatars, so to speak. and they could use them to fight. And at the end, I think the last arc was like a huge shaman tournament, if I remember correctly, and main character wins at the end. And this is like, it's been 2 decades. Like, I don't remember Shaman King, but I do remember that was a pretty cool show. The anime was also popular in Germany. Toto the Gold always survives. Yuji and Toto have 100% win rate. I love Yuji's and Toto's like relationship with each other. They're literally just bros. Brother. Yeah, but there are a bunch of characters which I don't want to spoil who do end up 6 feet under, and it's devastating. It is devastating. Like, Jujutsu Kaisen almost feels like anime Game of Thrones. You know, in Game of Thrones there's so many characters, beloved characters, where they just die in the most heinous way, and you don't never feel like the people who killed them, like, there was no justice. It almost felt like there's no justice. And in Jujutsu Kaisen almost feels the same way. There's this one villain that I absolutely hate, like from the bottom of my heart, and the day that this character dies, I hope it dies the most gruesome way, and it's Mahito. I hate Mahito so much. Yo Asakura, yes. They had spirit guardians. The antagonist was reincarnated as Yo's twin brother. I don't remember that part, that detail, but I remember that the girl that already always helped him, was like his wife, right? Like he was married early on, maybe like an arranged marriage or something like that. But that blonde girl, that was his wife. Or maybe they just translated it as a wife. Maybe they just used wife as a joke. We don't know. Now I discovered Toriko. Yeah, Toriko is also pretty cool. It's food-related shonen jump. If you like, it has some funny moments. Yeah, if you like food-related shows, you should watch Dungeon Meshi. Or Delicious in Dungeon is the English title, I think. It's literally a cooking show, but within a dungeon. Hannah, yeah, and she basically saved him and he had to marry her. Yeah, this is something I remember, yeah. This is also so funny, but I cannot show you the original soundtrack because of copyright again. But it's Naruto with cats. It's so dumb. What people do with their cats, man. Is going to save Sasuke. It's basically the plot of like Naruto Shippuden. It's so dumb. Okay, that was it. That's all you need to know. Like, if you want to watch... Hey, why did my model freeze? What the hell was that? Where did my model freeze? Okay, I would say... What else do... Oh yeah! Something I wanted to show you. Kingdom Hearts apparently is coming to Fortnite. Which is funny because we recently started a Kingdom Hearts playthrough. This was not planned at all. Like, I didn't know that Kingdom Hearts still has enough clout to show up in Fortnite. But apparently it does. Which makes me a bit hopeful. You know, usually companies, they plan these types of things when they have something to announce. So if Kingdom Hearts is coming to Fortnite of all places, right? Maybe Kingdom Hearts 4 is around the corner. It says it's coming to Fortnite in a few months. Why would it come to Fortnite for no reason? Right? That they must have something to announce. So hopefully Kingdom Hearts 4 will be announced soon. Or the release of Kingdom Hearts 4. That would be very, very interesting. Finally, a way to make Kingdom Hearts timeline even more confusing. Can't wait for the 4-hour lore video explaining why Peely is actually a vessel for Xehanort. This is unfortunately the biggest the biggest negative point of Kingdom Hearts is that the story is just so convoluted. It's so sad because you cannot really recommend this. Like, usually I love to recommend good games that I had a good time with, but I honestly cannot recommend Kingdom Hearts to anyone. Because the story just gets so weird and not weird, but just complicated. It just gets so complicated. First game, not so much. First game is easy. Kids on an island, want to escape island. Kids disappear, or like their world gets swallowed. Turns out main character is chosen one. Basically, it's Naruto's story, or Anakin Skywalker, basically. Friends turn against each other. Evil try to defeat good. Power of friendship, and then it all ends. And then it starts getting super confusing. The second game introduces the Nobodies and Organization 13. And Organization 13 is basically the Akatsuki of Kingdom Hearts. It gets so complicated. In Kingdom Hearts 3, I did not understand what was going on anymore with the story. 1 and 2 you can still somewhat understand, and then Birth by Sleep is the prequel. It's also kind of you understand where the whole the puppet master behind everything is. It's like Darth Sidious. You'll see. If an influencer will have Sora as his Twitter avatar, then Kingdom Hearts 4 is definitely around the corner. Hopefully. Maybe I should apply for Square Enix as a partner, as an affiliate. So we have more reasons to play through Kingdom Hearts, and then also some Final Fantasy games. There's one Final Fantasy game I definitely want to play, but it is such a long game that I'm currently a little bit afraid. That's what I told you. We need to train ourselves in completing games like this, like Kingdom Hearts, 20-hour experiences, because right now I wouldn't be able to. How the hell am I supposed to play Final Fantasy VII? That's 100+ hour experience. We need to prepare for that. We need to slowly jump into stuff like Final Fantasy. Oh, sad story. James Van Der Beek, the star of Dawson's Creek, which I only occasionally watched when there was nothing on the TV, but he died after a long battle with colorectal cancer. He was only 48. This video he made telling people about his struggle and what cancer taught him. May he rest in peace. This video is pretty cool because it has a very important message, in my opinion. So we can watch that as well. Usually we don't watch death messages, but I think this one has a very, very good message for everyone out there.
And
wait,
today's my birthday, and it has been the hardest year of my life, and I wanted to share something that I learned with y'all. When I was younger, I used to define myself as an actor, right? Which was never really all that fulfilling. And then I became a husband, and that was much better. And then I became a father, and that was the ultimate. I could define myself then as a loving, capable, strong, supportive husband, father, provider, steward of the land that we're so lucky to live on. And for a long time, that felt like a really good definition to the question, who am I? What am I? And then this year, I had to look my own mortality in the eye. I had to come nose to nose with death. And all of those definitions that I cared so deeply about were stripped from me. I was away for treatment, so I could no longer be a husband that was helpful to my wife. I could no longer be a father who could pick up his kids and put them to bed and be there for them. I could not be a provider because I wasn't working. I couldn't even be a steward of the land because at times I was too weak to prune all the trees during the window that you're supposed to prune them. And so I was faced with the question, if I am just a too skinny, weak guy alone in an apartment with cancer, what am I? and I meditated, and the answer came through. I am worthy of God's love simply because I exist. And if I'm worthy of God's love, shouldn't I also be worthy of my own? And the same is true for you. And as I move through this healing portal toward recovery, I wanted to share that with you because I think that revelation that came to me was due in no small part to all the prayers and the love that have been directed toward me. So I offer that to you, however it sits in your consciousness, however it resonates, run with it. And if the word God trips you up, I certainly don't know, I can't claim to know what God is or explain God. My efforts to connect to God are an ongoing process that is a constant unfolding mystery to me. But if it's a trigger, it feels too religious, you can take the word God out and your mantra can simply be,
Still works.
I am worthy of love. Because you are. Thank you for the love and prayers, everyone. Have a blessed day.
Yeah, this has nothing, like this is not directly tied to religion. You can, as he said, you can take out the word God and... Why is my model freezing all the time? What is happening? Wait, are we capping at something like CPU or something like that? What is going on? CPU usage is 3%. What is going on? Wait, is it when we come out from a full screen? Wait, let me just play this part again.
Prayers, everyone. Have a blessed day.
Video ends. No, okay. That's weird. Sometimes my model freezes up. Anyways, I think I mentioned this a couple of times, and I think it's very important that you live your life the way you want to live it and not the way other people want you to live it, because at the end of the day, it's your life and your consequences. And the very honest and brutal truth is, a couple of generations from now, nobody knows who you are. You will be a name in a list of many, many people in your family, but nobody will reminisce, right? It's just, once again, I always say this, and I don't mean it in a mean way, but who thinks about their great-great-great-great-grandfather? Like, how many times in your life have you thought about your great-great-great-great-grandfather? Probably not that many times, right? I would say, like, great-grandfather is like the maximum most people do. You have your grandparents, and then you have the parents of your grandparents, right? But that is usually where most people end when it comes to talking about the family, or maybe they want to ask, how did we come here? Like, where did our, like, your parents come from, or etc., right? Like, when did our, like, family migrate to this place, or what did our great-great-parents do? Why do we have this family name, or where does that name come from? This is why I say, like, couple of generations from now, you'll just be one of those names, right? Maybe you are the reason why the rest of your family is now living in the States or in Japan and whatnot, but that's pretty much it. You'll literally just be a sentence. Why do we live in Japan? That's because your great-great-grandfather was a VTuber entertainer, and he just loved Pokemon so much, so he loved Dragon Ball, and he wanted to be like Goku, so he went to Japan and just stayed there, and he found your grandmother and great-great-grandmother, and he just stayed there. That's it. That would be even like more than most people do, right? Like, even like adding the profession and whatnot. But it is very important to just love yourself, like, for who you are and what you're doing, and not just make your definition of who you are and who you will be based on other people's perception of you. Because eventually, and this is mortality, like, is something like mortalities from elders is something I've been dealing with, thankfully only in theoretical places so far, but sometimes it got closer than I would love. it is something you have to think about. What happens once your parents are gone, once your grandparents are gone, maybe once your older siblings are gone. If they are the reason why you're doing what you're doing right now, what will happen once they are gone, right? Will you still love doing what you're doing right now, or is it just because you want to make them happy or please them, right? And this is really something that I feel like is very important for every human to realize, to just go like in introspective, right? Look into yourself, look into your heart, and ask yourself, are you really doing or behaving the way because you want to, or because other people are asking you to, or like expecting you to behave in that way, or do the things you do, or study the things you study, right? Obviously, we change behaviors based on the people around us. That is something just psychological, right? If you meet an old friend that you haven't seen in 10 years, you will kind of behave like you did 10 years ago. That is just something that you can read up, Freud and shit like that, right? But like behavior is dependent or codependent, I guess, from the people around us. I'm just saying, go into yourself, look into your heart, and ask yourself, are you gonna do the things, like, are you on the right path to the things that you would love to do in the next for the next 40 years? Or are you currently doing the things because your parents are like on top of your shoulders, right, and are asking you to do it? Because eventually your parents won't be there for you anymore, and then you would have to ask yourself, is the thing that I'm currently doing still something I like, right? So define yourself. It might take a while, and you may have many definitions throughout your life. I thought I would be a different person 5 years ago, and 10 years ago, and 15 years ago. That is totally normal. But don't make that definition based on the expectation of others. Because you can bet your ass that most of these people who are whispering in your ears, they are not changing their life because of what you think about them, but they try to change yours based on and it's not always ill-intended either, right? Like, some people genuinely want to give you good advice in order to maybe avoid making mistakes that they made. So it's not just, it's not, I'm not saying don't listen to your elders or don't listen to the people around you, don't listen to the more experienced people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if you're old enough, if you're an adult, right, if you have a developed brain, you should be knowing what you want to be doing for the rest of your life. And it shouldn't be something that is expected of you, right? It should be something that you really want to do. Good. I would say with that, we can end today's just chatting part. I think for next week, we're gonna adjust the stream times a little bit. 3 p.m. was definitely way too early. way too early. But as I said, I wanted to give people more chances to catch the streams, and to to give us also an option to go a bit longer. I wanted to have like a hybrid stream today with a little bit of just chatting and also a little bit of Monster Hunter. But I make this always a bit vibe based, right? We already have 2 dedicated gaming streams, and Sunday is going to be just based on how much we're vibing, right? Like, if the gaming vibes are not there, we're not gonna join, like, start playing games. That is totally fine. I wanted to learn the mechanics of Monster Hunter anyways before we properly revisit it, but I wish everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you watch this later on YouTube, right, please make sure to also give this video a thumbs up. That always helps a little bit with the algorithm. Hope you enjoyed this Sunday. I really hope you enjoyed your Valentine's weekend, and we will see each other next week. Definitely next week. I would say at least 4 times. I'll try my best to increase that even. Maybe we can even do 5. Who knows? But I'll try to make sure to post a schedule and to stay on schedule. And Bye bye. Have a peaceful night. You too, Crockley. Bye bye, Crockley, and bye bye, Icathian. Fuck. We'll see each other next time. Next week. Probably on Tuesday, but maybe even tomorrow. It depends. Okay? Take care. Bye bye.